Hey Freebs Nation, it's Jordan Page with FunCheaperFree.com and ProductivityBootcamp.com, and today we are going to talk about work-life balance. Oh, yes we are. As many of you guys can probably guess, since I do YouTube and I have a blog and I have a bunch of programs and all these other things, I am technically a work-at-home mom. And it has taken me a while to embrace the title because sometimes it feels a little weird, right? Because, oh, I don't work, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I just do these little things on the side. But you know, over the years, let me tell you what, I have learned that work-life balance of any kind, whether you are a work-at-home mom, whether you are a work outside of the home mom, whether you are a part-time hustle mom, whatever it is, the balance can be really hard. So over the years, I have learned a lot, and luckily I have come to a place where I feel like now I have pretty good balance, and I would love to share with you some of my tips for finding that for yourself. So what do you say? Should I just get on with it? Let's get on with the tips. Tip number one for finding that work-life balance is to block your time. I don't even know where to begin with this tip because I literally could talk about it for an hour, because guess what? I do. In my program, which is ProductivityBootcamp.com, I have an entire chapter on blocking your time, or what I like to call making a block schedule. I do have a fairly robust oversight version of this principle here on YouTube, so I'll link to that below. So what you need to do is you really just need to go watch that. If you want even more details, you can go to my program and use the code YouTube for 10% off. But what I'll do right now is tell you the value of it, and then you can go watch the free YouTube video or join my program to learn even more. The beauty of blocking your time is that you don't live your life hour by hour anymore. What you do is you set up certain blocks, or you kind of think of it like maybe like a class or a schedule in high school, and you live by those blocks each day. So I have a morning block, and it's about 3 hours long from the moment I wake up until 3 hours later, and that's my morning block. And that's my block where I'm not working, but I'm focusing on my family and getting a jump start on my day. I'm rotating laundry, I'm getting my kids dressed and out the door for school, I'm making breakfast, maybe I'm even prepping dinner, I'm cleaning the house, whatever I'm doing is for my family. But then, you know, let's flash forward a few blocks later, and I have a working block in the middle of my day because I work from home. And you know, it just doesn't really work for me to be working on my phone or on my computer while my kids are having a play date or when they should be getting their homework done or whatever it is. So I had to schedule a block. It's 3 hours, and it's in the middle of my day when 2 of my kids are napping, and that is my working block. During that time, my kids know mommy's at work. I come upstairs, I shut the door, and I do nothing else but work in that block. In the summer, it's nice because I can hire a neighbor girl to come over and play with my kids. During the school year, maybe I'll hire a nanny. Maybe I will send them over to my mom's house for a play date. Maybe I'll turn a movie on for them. I try to do something so that I can work uninterrupted. And that is the best tip I can give you, is schedule these blocks for your day so you have a productive block so you can get projects done in the home. You have a working block so you can sit down at your computer and get work done. You have a family block where you're doing family dinner or running your kids to activities. And by associating these blocks and giving them their own little space, you won't find yourself constantly doing this juggle and shuffle of trying to do it all the time. Again, way more information on how to schedule these blocks and how they can benefit you, and a printable where you can actually fill in your own block schedule, and I will put all of that below. But there you go. Block your time. My next tip for finding that work-life balance, and this especially goes for you that work at home, is that you need to embrace the phrase and say it often, I'm at work, or I'm going to work. I have found that over the last few years of being kind of a stay-at-home, work-at-home mom, sometimes people don't understand that work is work even though I'm working from home. And I used to say things like, oh, I would love to meet you guys for lunch, but I can't, I have a project to do, or, you know, I gotta do some stuff on my computer. And to them, it kind of hurt their feelings because it felt like I was choosing something over them, or they just didn't really honor it. Maybe like, oh, well, we'll just swing by, no big deal, whatever it is. I have found that when I use the phrase, oh, sorry, I'm gonna be at work, or I'm at work, or I'm working right now, can I get in touch with you later? That it suddenly gives this level of respect and distance that you need between work and life. So during your working blocks, or when you're sitting down focusing on something, be sure to say to your kids, to your neighbors, to your whoever it is, I'm so sorry, I'm at work right now. I'll get back to you when I'm clocked out. Embrace it, I'm at work. Stamp it on your forehead, put it on a shirt, let's put it on a mug and call it a day. Cheers. All right, my next tip for finding that work-life balance is to be all in. What I mean by that is when you're working, be at work. When you're at home or with your kids, be at home. It is so easy, especially if your job is online like mine is, to just be online all the time. Or if you have a stressful job or if you're in the middle of a big project, it's hard to disconnect. For me, 90% of the work that I do is on this little thing right here that I always have in my hand. And so it's so easy for me to get sucked down a hole and to be with my family, but not engaged with my family. So again, going back to that first tip, you gotta block out your time. And when you are in a family block or a working block, be all in. For me, I have a little bit of a phone addiction. I'm working on it, and I have been over the last few years. But one of the things that has helped me is to have chargers throughout the house that are next to drawers. So when I am in family time, like at 3:30, when my kids are home from school and I'm getting them fed and out the door to activities, I will literally plug in my phone and close it in a drawer so I can physically be all in with my family. And then when I grab my phone, because it's always safe to have it with you when you're driving, I will zip it in my purse in the car so that I'm not tempted to be working when I should be engaging and conversing with my kids. And then likewise, when I am at work, when I am on my computer or filming a video, I literally have to lock my door, turn off my notifications, stop the laundry machine, and be all in on work so you can give 100% of yourself in that moment. Just dive in, be all in. My next tip for finding work-life balance is you need freezer meals. I'm just gonna say that, and I'm going to say it again and again and again. You need freezer meals, especially for those of us who work outside the home or for those of you who work full time or travel. My goodness, I don't even wanna know what the takeout bill is because I know on bad months it can get pretty high at my house if I'm not careful. One of my tips is you can either take a day that you're not working, such as like a Saturday or a Sunday or whatever your schedule is, and prep meals for the whole week, or you cook 2 or 3 meals and you double them, stick half in the fridge and half in the freezer. Or there are even classes that you can search online and sign up for, and you pay some money and you go to this class and you leave with like 20 freezer meals, and then they become just your dump and go dinner. That are absolute lifesavers. I have a busy day, like today. I am at home, but I am filming as many YouTube videos as I can today. So I do not have time to think about dinner. What I'm gonna do is pull a freezer meal out, throw it in the slow cooker or the Instant Pot, and boom, homemade dinner. Don't have to go get a $5 pizza, and it's done, and helps you still serve your family, feed them good food, but in a very short amount of time. That doesn't drive you crazy because cooking is hard. It just is, it's hard, it's really hard. Along with the freezer meals, another tip is maybe to create a meal co-op with some other moms. It's the coolest thing. Basically, you get a couple of moms, you group together, you talk about any dietary restrictions or favoritism, things that maybe the families like or don't like, and then you just set up a system where once a week you cook dinner, but you cook enough for every family in your group, and you drop off a hot dinner at their house that night, and then the rest of the week you sit back, and as it's the other mom's turn, they drop off a hot dinner at your house. So you're cooking more 1 or maybe 2 days a week, but the other days you are getting a hot homemade meal delivered to your house at dinner time. Yeah, sign me up, like right now. You in? Another tip is carpool. Carpool, carpool, carpool. The hardest thing for me about being a working mom is that I don't want it to hinder my children, and I don't want it to limit what they want to do. So I support their extracurricular activities, and I love for them to do play dates and hang out with their friends. But sometimes it's really hard for me to load up in the car, like legitimately 100 times a day. So one of the things that I have done is made it a point in my life to set up as many carpools as possible. The ways to do this are send out a neighborhood text, get in touch with all the moms that go to your school and say, hey, anyone want to work out a carpool? Go to your daughter's dance class once or twice if you can. Put your phone down and engage with the other parents and see if you can strike something up. For team seasonal sports like soccer, I will ask the coach if we can get a team text going, and then I will text the team and ask them if we can set up a carpool with anyone on the team. And it becomes a lifesaver because then you're only driving about half the time. Carpool, carpool, carpool. Another tip for finding work-life balance is to really focus on having one-on-one time with each of your kids and your spouse. Because I know for me, the mom guilt is real, and when I'm working, I just feel like it's taking away from my ability to be a good mom, right? Which, by the way, is not true or doesn't have to be true. So it kind of goes back to that tip of being all in, but really segmenting that, focus and find daily time to have one-on-one time with your kids. For me, I've got 6 kids, and so it gets a little tricky to do that one-on-one time with every kid every day. So for my 6 kids, the younger ones, one of them's a baby and the other 2 are pretty young, so we adapt theirs a little bit. But for the older kids, each of them get 2 days per week where it is their day. We have it written on a board in the kitchen. They know when it is their day. And on that day, they get a lot of special privileges. They get to choose their seat in the car. They get to choose the song on the radio. They get to choose what plate they have at dinner. They say the prayer at the meals. But most importantly, that night, they get 15 minutes of alone one-on-one time with me or me and dad or dad, whatever the schedule is, and we just hang out. Sometimes we'll watch a little show, sometimes we'll do a puzzle, sometimes I'll paint the girls' nails, but it's just really our time to connect. And I have found that quality always trumps quantity. It's not about how much time you have with your kids in the day necessarily, but it's about how engaged you are and how special you make that time. So even 15 minutes a day, it doesn't sound like much, but mama, let me tell you what, your child will look forward to that 15 minutes all week long. It is really special. So maybe embrace tuck-in time at your house. It may save you as well. And I do have a video that explains this in more detail, so check that out below. Another tip for finding that work-life balance is to tell things to wait their turn. One mistake that we make as working parents is to feel like we have to do it all the time. But guess what? That math does not work. You can't give 100% of yourself in 5 different places. One of the things I do in terms of scheduling, in terms of priorities, in terms of procrastination, is I make a timeline for what I need to get done, and I don't focus on something until it's that something's turn. For example, let's say that there are 5 things I need to get done this week. Basically, I tackle the one that needs to get done first, very first, and I don't worry about the other 4. Sure, I'll make some lists. I'm a big list maker. In fact, I will leave a link in the description for my to-do book video. It's a game changer, especially for you working parents. Make a list, write things down, get it out of your brain, but then I choose the most priority item, that one item, and I am all in on that item, that task, that project, whatever it is. And then when it's done, that turn is done, and now it's the next one's turn. If you are trying to tackle all 5 things at once, it's never going to work. You're gonna be burned out, you're gonna be tired. It's going to be just like C- or D+ work quality. It just doesn't work. So one thing at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So take a bite, swallow the bite, digest the bite, move on to the next one, and say, wait your turn, I'll get there. Maybe we should also put that on a shirt and a cup. We'll just make a whole poster. Okay, my second to last tip for finding work-life balance is a big one, and that is get help. There is no shame in getting help. Financially, if you can, maybe outsource a few things in your life. Maybe have a cleaning crew come once a month to help you deep clean your house. Maybe you hire a neighbor kid to mow your lawn for you so you don't have to. Hire a babysitter to come help you drive your kids around or entertain your kids so you can get some work done. So if you have the means, do that. Otherwise, maybe you can even work trade for some help. So maybe you trade babysitting with another working mom so that when you work on Tuesdays and Thursdays, she can watch your kids and you watch her kids Mondays and Wednesdays. There are always things you can do, but get help. Aside from that, don't be afraid to ask your own family for help. I think so often women, especially moms, I'm talking to you, we feel like we have to carry the entire weight of parenting and household and job responsibilities on our shoulders. But guess what? You're not alone in this, and you don't have to be alone. Your kids are fully capable of packing their own lunches, cleaning their own rooms, even doing their own laundry. Your spouse can help. Maybe they're not naturally helpful. Ask them for help. Don't nag, don't nitpick, don't criticize, but lovingly ask for help. Set up some systems, set up some chore charts, set up some clipboards. I have tons of videos that can help you with this on my channel. Just surf. Also, productivitybootcamp.com, shameless plug, but it's true. I will help you set up systems for your whole life if you want, but get help and set up systems so you don't have to do it all on your own. And last but not least, my most important tip, so I hope you are listening. Ready? Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. You know you were thinking it. Let it go. Let it go. All of you perfectionists in the room, I'm talking to you. I'm going to tell you your new goal in life. You ready for this? Your goal in life is B+. We're not shooting for A's anymore, and we are certainly not shooting for A+. B+ is the goal. Anything above that is a perk. I have found that when I get too uptight, when I overthink things, when I'm stressed, it's because I'm trying to make things perfect, or I feel dissatisfied if something in my life isn't A+, whether it's a homemade dinner, whether it's doing an activity with my kids, whether it's the cleanliness of my house or the state of my appearance. If I try to make something perfect, it only adds stress and angst and terror and horror to my life. So your goal is B+. Be excited about it, satisfied with it. B+ is enough. Good enough is good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be done well and fine, and everyone can be happy. Case in point, girl, do it. Point that camera down. I want you guys to see what is sitting at my feet right now. Can you see all this junk? Look it. See those piles? Those piles are on my floor because they were piled up on my desk and I moved them to my floor so I could film this video. So if that makes you feel better about yourself, my job here is done. So there you go. Hopefully those are a few tips for all of you working people or parents or mothers out there watching this to find a little helpful work-life balance. Remember that when you're all in, you're in. Block out your time, set up some systems, and let things go, and I promise you'll just be happier. You're still gonna be busy and tired, but you'll be happier and things will go a lot smoother. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know by giving me a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe. When I post new videos, I post them on Thursdays. And again, if you need more help, remember, get help. There's no shame in that. I do have a productivity program that can help you with all of this. It's productivitybootcamp.com and use the code YouTube for 10% off. Now, if you don't mind, I am going to take a couple of minutes and clean up all this crap on my floor that I just showed you because now it's bothering me. Thanks a lot. So I'm gonna let you guys go, clean up for a minute, and then get back to work. Bye. Laundry machine. Circa 1975. Get your laundry machine going. Gertrude from down the street. A laundry machine. Oh, darn it. Right next to the refrigerator box. What are some other outsourcing things?